Hello everyone, welcome to our episode of Showcase on Warframe. Now, today's item is the Panthera. Now, if you would ask me a year ago about the Panthera, I'd probably squint my eyebrows, tell you to get out, and don't talk to me again. Today's opinion is a little different. Now, the Panthera is a bit of a different weapon compared to others, as you will see later on. And you can see already here, it's split into two different kinds of primary fire and secondary fire. Now the primary fire is a bit on the more rapid side, or so it would seem, but is the projectile side. The secondary fire is more of a melee based, and it's why the fire rate is significantly better. But the critical chance is also much better on the secondary fire. Now going over the numbers now, it's a bit arbitrary until I actually get into the darn thing. You'll understand more when we get there. For now, just secondary fire is a lot stronger for its melee use. But anyway, if you want to find this, just go to the marketplace, go to blueprint, and you'll see that you'll find the little requirements here. Okay, what you need is 20,000 credits, 1 Arcan Cell, 600 some polymer bundle, a haiku, and the miter. Oh, that's already a big con in my book. Just getting that thing already. So yes, you'll need to give up the haiku and the miter. As pain as the ass it is to get that weapon. Ugh. I think at its scale, like if it's not a prime weapon, I think that miter is like the top of that list of do not want. Anyway, let's go into visuals. Now the Panthera is a really oddball of a weapon. Well, it doesn't shoot normal projectiles, it shoots tiny little blades, as I'll show very soon here. The barrel is very thin, and it's supported by strange metal brackets. Now on top of that, I'd say something about the Panthera is, it doesn't seem to be Grineer, or Corpus, or Tenno by design. It's unique. It doesn't fit to any of the three weapon categories or weapon styles. It's its own thing by the looks of it. So yeah, it's really odd, but let's go on to the primary fire. So I paused, and you can see it's a trail of a blade. And you see two blades, but that's natural. It's not my multi-shot. It always shoots two. You see these little tiny discs it shoots out. And it's a little hard to make out what they are because they get too close and they phase out of existence, as you saw there. So I'm just trying an artificial zoom, and you can see that it's a little funny disc looking thing. How the secondary fire uses the same thing, it's much bigger. But you can see when we rapid fire this, it goes through quite quick. Although it's not instant reaching its target. Though that's a decent enough fire rate. Although you do shoot two projectiles each time. So yeah. Alright, now let's go into the secondary fire. The secondary fire is quite something. No, didn't mean to twist the camera there, but you see here, it's the same disc, except it's much larger, and it shoots about 6 meters. Now you can see this thing just rotates in place and is fixed. This is, in a sense, a chainsaw. Now, if you're looking at this thing, it looks like a very familiar glaive. Anyhow, from that, maintaining this weapon in spot doesn't actually cost any ammo. It's only when you put on enemies. So you can keep this spinning forever. It always maintains in front of the barrel, and if you get closer to the object, it gets closer to you. So yeah, the DPS in this thing is astounding. And with that critical chance, you can kind of get the idea where the firepower of this weapon lies. Definitely so. Alright, now I do have to emphasize that when you do use primary fire, as you see, you use 2 shots. Always, regardless, multi-shot or not, or anything else. When you see a secondary fire, no ammo is consumed, just maintaining it. It's only when applying it to enemies. Even then, I think it's a little bugged in this video, but no matter. Now, I'll talk about what you're using in the planes. Now, using this weapon in the planes can be tricky, because, again, the projectiles do not get there instantly. It's fast, but not instant. As you see, there's a good 1.5 second delay over 60 meters. So yeah, powerful, yes. Always the best weapon for this situation? No. But still, plenty powerful enough. And that's for the primary fire. Now, the secondary fire, in the planes, I don't really find the use of, point-blank weapons to be that great in the planes. It's just too much running around. The open environment's far too big for the Grineer, and the Grineer don't clump together like the Corpus and Infestation. So when it comes to point-blank weapons, I usually say there's really not much point to it at all. Best to always take a medium to long-range weapon. Alright, now here's my ultimate build for my weapon here. Now I'll do it in 2 sections. Now, you can see for my primary fire, I got 64% ball critical chance, 4x4 times multiplier damage. Fire rate of, 3 of them, it's not too bad, and magazine slightly lower, and it's because of my ribbon. The noise is alarming, and reloads non-touched at 2 seconds, and you can see the ribbon disposition is 5 orbs out of 5. And the status chance, nearly 70%, very high at that. Okay, going into damage, see I got 114 puncture, slash, I got around 800, and for impact I got 230, and viral I got a very large almost 2600. So yeah, for primary fire I can get the job done. But of course, as you can probably guess, where his weapon's at is actually a secondary fire. But anyway, as I got this, you can see my mods will be the same for both builds. But yeah, got mainly just threw on a lot of critical base damage like bladed rounds, vital sense, the magnet force to get that viral in the prime cryo rounds for cold. Now for secondary fire, the critical chance is 133%, critical multiplier is 4x4 times, fire rate, which it says 1, but it's a lot quicker than that. Magazine same, everything else the same. Status chance is a bit lower though at 56%. So yeah. Now damage value, got 250 puncture. Slash at around 2000, so lots. Impact almost at 260, and a little bit more than 5000 viral. So yeah. Secondary fire is where his weapon's at. But of course secondary fire is not designed for every combat scenario, because you can only attack a few enemies at a time in your point blank, so it's rather tricky and dangerous. Okay, moving on from that, we got my ribbon, which I'm so glad I didn't have to roll this, because I love it, just almost a god roll just by getting it. So you can see I got 340 damage per minute right there, and then 283% critical chance, and then negative 30, almost 35% magazine capacity. So yeah, you can see where my magazine capacity got lowered. But damn, almost 300% critical chance. Damn, that is good. That's 2-point strikes rolled into 1 almost. So that's how I got my critical chance up to 133%. So it's always yellows, and sometimes reds, some oranges. I'm not sure if orange even does anything yet. Whatever. But yeah, an overall damage significantly increased. So let's take it for a test run. Alright, first targets, we'll get some Grenier. Get some standard Lancers. I'll grab 20 of them, turning my invulnerability so I don't die, because otherwise the weapon will be difficult to show if I'm being shot to pieces. So a level 85 will do. I think it's a bit on the light end, but I think it's perfect. Alright, primary fire, we'll shoot this guy. 3 or 4 shots. Okay, secondary fire, seconds. So yeah, it cuts through the Grenier incredibly quick, though you should aim for the head always. But yeah, you can see it just cuts right through. Now viral is like, should be hitting him nearly instantly. And when it does, it is just that quicker to cut right down through. So this is more or less intended for a run and gun when using secondary fire. Warframes with heavy armor and ways to ignore damage will be best suited for this weapon. At least when fighting the Grenier anyway. It changes when you fight the Corpus and the Infestation. But you can see here, I could easily went to probably level 100, but I think level 85 was the perfect range for damage being shown. Alright, after that, let's go on to some Corpus, some MOAs specifically. Okay, we'll grab about 20 MOAs. Level, I'm thinking a little bit higher actually. You know what, I'm thinking level 105. Yeah, level 105, that'll work. So, let's see. Level 105, could have probably went a bit higher, but again, same area. So 2 or 3 shots. Yep, 2 or 3 shots for the primary fire. Okay, and I'll use my secondary and cut through them very, very quickly. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there seems to be a bug with this weapon. Don't expect it to be permanent, but my ammo's not going down when secondary fire. There's no mention of it being permanent, like not draining any ammo at all. I recall I used to drain ammo, but yeah. Besides, at that point though, this weapon incredibly powerful, easily so. Now for some Infestation, probably where it's best used. It's going to start feeling like Marcus Phoenix here really quick. Level 150, let's go. Let's do this. Oh, okay. So primary fire takes 3 to 5 shots, around there. Not that efficient. But let's use the secondary fire. Oh, and I'm gonna sit try to sit in one spot. Oh, sweet Jesus, look at this. The enemies just run right into that blade, and you just wave in between, wave it back and forth, and you just cut them up. I personally love that. It's kind of what I wanted from the Miter. When he shoots, you know, shoot giant blades at things. It's kind of what I wanted. At least the Panther delivered on that. Just destroyed them. Next question, can it kill level 150 heavy gunner? Well, the primary fire, it has good slash procs, but that's all you're kind of doing with it. Now, secondary fire though, the funny thing about secondary fire though is I noticed that the slash procs isn't as great. It isn't really right there. Yeah. So yes, you can kill the level 150 enemies, but mainly through slash procs and probably through primary fire. The enemies keeps recovering from viral and keeps getting his health back. So strange enough, the secondary fire doesn't have as good slash procs. I'm not sure if that's intended or not. Weird. Alright, let's go on to the pros and cons of the Panthera, and I'll be doing both parts in one segment. Anyway, on the pros, weapon boasts incredible DPS to the secondary fire. The primary fire's accuracy is actually quite high. Slash procs are also incredibly powerful in the primary fire. The weapon has a powerful status of primary fire and a very powerful critical base of secondary fire, so you get a good choice of diversity with there. And overall, it's just a pretty kick-ass weapon with a chainsaw. Well, it's not a real chainsaw, but it behaves like one. Okay, that's enough for pros. On the cons, the weapon suffers at long range because the secondary fire is limiting and the primary fire's projectile speed comes into account. You must give up 2 weapons in order to build it, which includes the Miter. Ugh. Alright. And I guess I should say it's not really designed for every combat scenario, since it's like the plane's not really the best place for it, as it can suffer over a long distance. But I think that is pretty much covering everything that I believe that's important about this weapon. Now going on to the score, the only major change of score here is speed instead of accuracy. But damage, I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. The weapon boasts incredible damage for the secondary fire, and primary fire is nothing to scoff at either. It's still pretty good, and definitely a very high status chance. Now going on to speed, I'm going to give that 8 out of 10. Of all the projectile flight speed, it is quite rapid. It's not instant, but it's not far off either. And on top of that, the secondary fire's DPS is incredibly fast. Design, I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. Well, it's been changed, well, it always has a good design, but since it's been buffed correctly, this weapon is excellent. Very fast, very rapid secondary fire, and a reliable primary fire. Excellent. Ammo-wise, 7 out of 10. You can run out of ammo pretty quick because it's dual shots there, which I forgot to mention in the cons. I'll probably put that up there already. But yeah, other than that, fairly solid on the ammo front. Let's go as a 7 out of 10. It's not for every combat scenario, but it's fun to use, and it's fairly powerful. Enough said. So in total, I give the Panthera 38 out of 50. It's an excellent weapon in my opinion. I'm so glad they made a buff to this weapon. If only they buffed so many other weapons that need it, like this one. like it once did. Okay, let's go on to Judgment. Now, as much as this weapon's not designed for every combat scenario, I think those combat scenarios it is meant for is around 80% of the game. So yes, it's worth it in my opinion. If you asked me a year ago, I would say it wasn't worth it, but hey, things change. Hopefully I don't have to change so many videos. So yes, the buff made it substantially much more powerful, much more fun to use, and overall, an excellent weapon. And that's been Showcase for today. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and hope to see you guys next time. Take care out there.